Dear students, today our topic is ecological adaptations. First of all, I will tell you as far as the ecological adaptations are concerned that all living organisms show certain modifications in their anatomy, morphology, physiology, in their behavior and reproductive pattern in response to environmental stimuli. These modifications help the organism to withstand the stress of the environment and make the use of available resources to maximum extent. Such modifications are called as adaptation. Once more, I will tell you if we move towards the ecological adaptation, then I will tell you that all living organisms show certain modifications in their anatomy, morphology, physiology, behavior, and reproductive pattern in response to environmental stimuli. These modifications help the organism to withstand stress of the environment and make the use of available resources to maximum extent. Such modifications are called as adaptation. Okay, here I will tell you adaptation means adjustment of an organism which enhances its capacity to withstand a particular environment. And all organisms have specific adaptations for each factor of the environment, and the adaptations are inheritable. And if we'll move towards the adaptation in plants, here I will tell you as far as the plants are concerned, plants possess special characteristics that help them to bear the pressure exerted by surrounding environment on them, and the plants can adapt themselves to changing light, temperature, water, as well as salt concentrations also. And some of the adaptations are here I will tell you that the adaptations of light intensities. In that, I will tell you that the plants can adapt themselves to changing intensity of light. And these types of plants are heliophytes is one of them. And as far as the heliophytes are concerned, I will tell you that the plants which are adapted to bright light, that are called as heliophytes. And these plants show different type of characteristics. I will show you tell you that the hard and thick stem and leaves are there, and the thick cuticle in leaves. इनमें जो होता है I'll tell you that the sunken stomata is present and pale green leaves with shiny surface. और इसमें आप लोगों को मैं ये भी बताऊंगी दैट द फ्लावरिंग एंड फ्रूटिंग ऑकर्स. और हाँ और एक चीज़ है कि जो ये हेलियोफाइट्स होते हैं दे आर ऑल्सो कॉल्ड एज सन प्लांट्स. ओके, आफ्टर दैट वी हैव अनदर वन एंड दैट इज कॉल्ड एज सियोफाइट्स. सियोफाइट्स ये मैं आप लोगों को बताऊंगी दे आर अडेप्टेड टू लो इंटेंसिटी लाइट. And these plants are called shade plants also. Once more, I will tell you when we move towards the zeophytes, they are adapted to low intensity light. And these plants are also called as shade plants. And some of the features of these plants are they are having soft stems, large and thin leaves, thin cuticle is also there. And I will tell you as far as the stomata is concerned, stomata we will see that on both the surfaces, and there are very much bright green color leaves. And if we'll move towards the roots, we will see that less extensive root system is there and they show less metabolic activities. Okay, and then we will move towards the adaptation to water scarcity and heat. Here I will tell you as far as the plants are concerned, the plants which are adapted to dry habitat and high temperature conditions, that is called as xerophytes. And xerophytes can withstand a prolonged period of droughts. And these are of different types, in which I will tell you that one of them is succulent. Succulent means that these are drought resistant plants which show different type of characteristics, in which I will tell you that we will see that the fleshy organs which can store large amount of water, and the stomata remains closed during daytime to reduce the rate of transpiration. And if we'll see, we will see that there is a thick cuticle. Presence of leaf spines are also there. We will take example of Opuntia is there, Aspergillus is there. Okay, after that we will move towards the non-succulent plants. Here I will tell you these are the perennial plants. Once more I will tell you when we move towards the non-succulent plants, I will tell you these are the perennial plants which show many modifications which make them to resist dry conditions. These are I'll tell you here, these are true xerophytes. And the special characteristics of non-succulents are extensive root system, waxy coating on leaves, sunken stomata to reduce transpiration. And I will tell you here, rolling and folding of leaves. I'll tell you, if we'll go see here, as far as the examples are concerned, examples of non-succulent plants are concerned, Akika nilotica is one of the plant. That is the example of these non-succulent plants. Prosopis, Nerium. These are the examples of non-succulent plants. After that we have ephemerals. Ephemerals में मैं आप लोगों को बताऊंगी, these xerophytes remain in the form of seeds during dry period and during early spring or rainy seasons. They grow, flower and complete their life cycle. And I'll tell you here, their seeds are drought resistant. These are called drought escapers also. Once more, I will tell you, when we move towards the ephemerals, here I will tell you these xerophytes remain in the form of seeds during day period, during dry period, and during early spring or rainy seasons they grow. And I'll tell you that the flowers and complete their life cycle. And here I will tell you their seeds are drought resistant, and these are called drought escapers also. Okay, after that we have another one which we called as annuals. Here I will tell you that the xerophytes which continue to live for a few months even after rains in hot dry conditions, they have modifications to reduce transpiration. Okay, when we move towards the general characteristics of xerophytes, here I will tell you that they have extensive root system with deep roots, and they reduced leaves which can be modified into phyllides or succulents. And we will see that hard and rigid stem and lamina of the leaf may be segmented, long, narrow or needle-like. And we will see that the leaves show special features like a gray or light green coloration. Or I'll tell you that sunken stomata is present. Okay, after that there is another thing which we called as adaptation to aquatic environment. When we move towards the adaptation to aquatic environment, there I will tell you that the plants which grow in water or water-rich substratum, that is called as hydrophytes. Okay, in that we have at least 5 types. One of them is free floating hydrophytes. After that we have floating leaves or rooted hydrophytes. Submerged floating hydrophytes is one of them. Submerged rooted hydrophytes is there, and another one that is called as rooted emergent hydrophytes. Okay, after that we have general characteristics of hydrophytes. When we move towards the general characteristics of hydrophytes, there I will tell you that the submerged part of hydrophytes are covered with mucilage for protection. Once more I will tell you that the submerged parts of hydrophytes are covered with mucilage for protection, and the stems are weak, slender with long internodes. So we will take the example of hydrolyze there. And I'll tell you here, as far as the roots are concerned, roots may be absent in for example Wolffia is there, or poorly developed, in which we will take the example of hydrolyze there. And if we'll see that the roots, if present, serve the functions of anchorage, we will take the example of ranunculus. And root pockets are present instead of root caps. Okay, and in I'll tell you here, in floating hydrophytes, leaves are large, broad and thick. In that we will take example of Victoria is there. And in submerged hydrophytes, leaves are either ribbon shaped, or I'll tell you that finally diselected. And once more I will tell you, when we move towards the hydrophyllae, that is common in partially submerged hydrophytes. In that I will give you example of ranunculus is there. And special air storing organs occur in floating plants, and they multiply by means of tubes. Okay, after that we have another thing which we call as adaptation to saline environment. In that I will tell you that the plants which grow in saline environment, that are called as halophytes. Okay, once more I will tell you, when we move towards the adaptation to saline environment, there I will tell you that the plants which grow in saline environment are called as halophytes, and these are found in tidal marshes and coastal dunes, mangroves and saline soil. In that, I will give you example of rhizophoria. Okay, after that, when we move towards the general characteristics of halophytes, there I will tell you that in addition of normal roots, these plants possess additional roots like stealth roots or prompt roots for support. Once more, I will tell you, in addition to normal roots, these plants possess additional roots like stealth roots or prompt roots for support, and most of the halophytes are succulents. And if we'll move, we will see that the leaves are highly cutinized. Palisade tissues is well developed, and the seed, I'll tell you that the seeds germinate inside the fruit, while later is still on the parental trees and is nourished by it. And we will see that large sized cells to store water. Okay, and after that we have adaptation, oligotrophic salts. Here I will tell you that the oligotrophic soil is a soil with the low quantity of nutrients, and the plants growing in oligotrophic soils possess mycorrhizae, which helps in the absorption of water, minerals, and protection for pathogenic organs. Once more, I will tell you when we move towards the oligotrophic soil, I'll tell you here as far as the oligotrophic soil is concerned, that is a soil with low quantity of nutrients. And the plants growing on oligotrophic soils possess mycorrhizae, which helps in the absorption of water, minerals, and protection for pathogenic organs. Okay, after that we have adaptation. If we'll move towards the once more, I will tell you as far as this adaptation, ecological adaptation is concerned. Here I will tell you that the ecological adaptation, that all living organisms show certain modifications, whether that was their anatomy, morphology, physiology, behavior, reproductive pattern in response to their environmental stimuli. Okay, and these modifications help the organism to withstand the stress of the environment and make the use of available resources to maximum extent. Okay, and such modifications are called as adaptation. Okay, so this is all for today's lecture. We will meet again in next lecture. Till then, goodbye.